Hey friends, how's it going? Yes, I'm still here. I've been gone for a minute, and that's because, well, life. But that doesn't mean I abandoned this channel. I've actually been working deep, 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 deep on different projects and different ideas and different ways I can show up for my community. And for those of you who are still here, it's important to know that when we use systems of magic or astrology or anything like that, um, it's important to know that these are tools of liberation, okay? Magic should be used as a tool to help liberate you from any kind of resistance or bondage that you have in your life. And while I was in the midst of building a lot of these different projects, um, I was dealing with some really, really heavy things. And one of those things being dealing with a lot of stress and pressure and duress from those whom you would think are supposed to like protect you, right? And so oftentimes when we experience any type of attack or betrayal, it often comes from those that are closest to us in all the different forms. And so the bonus side of all of that is this experience has added to my toolbox. And so I just wanted to share some thoughts is that if your magic, your practices are not helping to improve your life, like what are you doing? It's just like magic is a tool of liberation, not just to be used for manifestation, not just, oh, I'm being attacked, I need protection, I need it. Sometimes we need clarity, sometimes we need inspiration, sometimes we want to draw in things, sometimes we want to repel things, sometimes we want to create things, sometimes we want to destroy things. And so when we use magic, rule number one is magic is more than just manifestation. It's also liberating yourself from the resistance in your life. And I took a pause from sharing a lot of things in my journey just so I could step back and gain some clarity of what was going on and what are my best offerings, right? As some of you know, is like I started here teaching about crystals, and crystals will always be a part of the essence of this channel because crystals are part of the foundation of Earth, right? And then I also offer energy healing clearings. And then people were like, well, Nina, how do you do what you do? So then I started teaching. And then I started teaching more and I started adding in ethics and morals because people saw it as an opportunity to get rich quick and capitalize on spirituality and all these things. First and foremost, to be spiritual, it's just part of life. That's like separating oxygen from the earth. It's just a part of life. Like it's your perception, it's your experience of your life. And to embark on work that happens to be a part of the healing industry, things get tricky because people project their beliefs and all these things. But if you are called and this is your calling, I want some of you to hear that there is nothing wrong with that. That maybe this is what your service to the world is. Maybe you really understand how the crystals work. Maybe you really understand how the plants commune with us. Maybe you really understand how the celestial spheres, aka the planets and the stars, really interact with us and how everything is really a reflection within all of us. Maybe you have a wealth of knowledge because you've been exposed to all kinds of non-traditional um, practices growing up. And so you're actually doing humanity a disservice when you don't share your gifts, when you don't develop these gifts. If you know that you have gifts and you're choosing to ignore them, guess what? These gifts become a burden, okay? But on the flip side, when you step into your power and you begin to utilize these gifts, then those who are choosing not to utilize their gifts or step into their power, they begin projecting onto you, okay? Because not because they are against what you're doing. On some level they are, but it's more so it's all about them. It's really nothing personal. They're just like, well, if she's doing this, does that mean I have to change this, this, and that? So let's go ahead and shut it down. Let's shut it down. And so what do? They shut it down. Sometimes your family, your own family attacks you. Sometimes your quote unquote best friends attack you. Sometimes your community members, the people who are like, oh, I want to learn from you, they hit against the wall, their own obstructions, and then they want to shut it down just because they want to slow down the process. And you know what? That's okay. That's their journey. But it's important that we don't take these things personally. Okay? It's important that we continue to move forward. It's important that we continue to express. Um, I've had people come to me and it's like, why are you trying to be like this? And why are you trying to be like that? And I'm standing there confused. I'm like, what makes you think I'm trying to be like something? What if I'm not, what if I'm just being? What if this is just my expression? And because you cannot place it into a box or you cannot understand it, does that mean I'm trying to be something I'm not? Or maybe I'm just being because I'm not following the rules that you are familiar with and that you have bound yourself by. I'm going against that. I'm a wannabe? No. I'm just a being. I'm a human being. I'm having a human experience in this being of expression. If we all tried to be like one person, do you know how boring the sky was if we were all stars? Which we are. Like, we need to shine in our own expression. And nobody talks about how, after you find that courage to finally stand in your expression, and then the world starts to mimic you because they're inspired by you, and then they stop because they realize it's hard being something that they're not. It's not organic, it's not authentic. So they step back and then they try and shut it down. But then in that shutdown, if you're sensitive, if you've received, if you're aware of all the different ways that energy works and people work and society works, the biggest challenge is stepping back up after you've been knocked down and refinding your voice, finding that courage. It's important to know that you're not too much. It's important to know that what you have to share and what you have to say is a beautiful expression. I was journaling earlier and I had some beautiful reflections, so much so that I had to hop on here because I've been feeling your pings, okay? I've been getting your messages. Where are you? Where are you? I'm like, I'm working on something big and it's coming. It's coming along. I don't have an exact date, but just know that I'm working on something. And if you're interested, it's just like how I show up to my community is also how my community shows up. So I'm making the effort once again to show up a little bit more and to not be scared and to just be and not worry about what other people's projections are. Okay. And so one of the things that I journal and I just wanted to share, it's about courage. It's like, where did my voice go? Why did it leave me? How do I find the fire again? How do I rebuild the stamina to stand in the power I once lived in me so fearlessly? I want the real me back. And when I journaled that and I sat and I reflected on that, I realized the real me wasn't emerging because I was attempting to be something I was not. I was trying to be something, I don't know, more palatable, as absurd as that sounds for some, and or more palatable for myself because me being in my own expression Sometimes it scared me because I didn't have a guidebook. I didn't have anyone validating all the steps that I was taking. I just had to have courage. I just had to have audacity. I just had to show up. And if you didn't like it, you just keep on moving. But part of how I built this channel and all of my following was just being me. And if something responds to you in a way that who cares? Who cares? Like, honestly, who cares? Um, Somebody out there is going to like it. Somebody out there loves fermented beans that smell like garbage, okay? And somebody's going to like it. Somebody is going to be out there looking like rainbows and unicorns. And many people are going to like that. But I promise you, there's going to be someone that's like, "Ugh, it's too much rainbow. It's too much unicorn. I want this stinky natto like um and I want this flavor." So there are different flavors, different strokes, and it's not up to us to determine what these flavors are and who gets to enjoy them. It's up to us to just express and to be and just be in that flavor. And so I'm learning more and more this path of healing as a healer, as a muse, as an artist, as a human being is about experience, going through experience. How do you recover from that experience? And how do you get back to a space that feels good? And also reclaiming your power, People, sometimes things take such joy in knocking you from your power. And you know what? The best joy that you could have is reclaiming your power. Okay. And it's just like you just come back to yourself. Take time, take as much time as you need. There's really no rush. The crystals will always be here. They were here before we got here. Magic is forever evolving. I've been working on so many cool things, and one of these things is teaching you guys how to liberate yourself when life gets tough, how to use your tools when you feel like you have absolutely nothing, and how to get to a space where you feel confident, shiny, and brand new once again. And also not being afraid to give people the side eye when they give you the side eye. And you're like, I don't know about that. And it's just like you have your armor, you get strong, and you put your crown on and you begin to shine once again. And so I realized this past experience was me learning how to utilize all of my tools, okay? All of the tools. We have to use everything that we have. If you're not using the things that you have, just go ahead and throw them away. Honestly, it's too much. You should focus on the simple basics and then rebuild from that. That way, you actually have a very clear, concise direction of how you want to move in life. I've met people, they went to school, they studied one thing, graduated, got a job, didn't work out, went back to school, graduated, got another job, tried a new thing, tried a new thing, tried a new thing, and they still felt lost. And in the end, the actuality is we take all those experiences, we add them all up. It's nothing is for nothing, right? We add them all up, and then this becomes a new, unique expression and offering. And so every experience that you have is a skill that gets added onto, and you're able to share that with somebody else. So, like, if you've gone through a lot of trauma, I mean, all kinds of trauma, guess what? You can hold space for a lot of people who have gone through all those ranges of trauma. Instead of looking at it from a victim, it's like, wow, I'm really expanding my skill set, my experience. And that is not bypassing. That is not toxic positivity. The reality is, if you are destined to be something great, you have to go through the most. You have to go through the greatest. Um, Otherwise, there isn't much depth. And we welcome that. And so when we're in the depth of learning these experiences, we just got to pause, take a deep breath, and we ask for the strength. We ask for the guidance. We ask for the inspiration of how to all make this all make sense. And this is the transmutation, okay? This is the transmutation of that rage, of that pain, of that depression. All of that gets transmuted into beauty, and that beauty becomes your art. And so I'm just kind of here to just say hello. There's no rhyme or reason why I'm here. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just letting you know I'm still here. I'm working on things, and I look forward to sharing them in a way that's most positive and most beneficial for other people that have also resonated and gone through similar things. And also to remind people that if you have experienced any kind of betrayal, abandonment, any of those deep, 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 deep wounds, you're not alone, okay? You're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you, and you're totally fine. And in fact, there's a way you can use that pain that you have experienced to transform it into fuel. It's great fuel for creating art, the art and beauty of your life. So, when I have a little bit more to say, I'll hop on here. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep working on my stuff. If you follow me on my Instagram, I do random updates there, but I haven't been so active lately because I've been moving a lot, um, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. But just know that good things are coming. And if you're curious about how to make these things more practical and applicable for your life, you know where to find me. All right. I love each and every one of you, and talk to you soon. Peace.